All right, folks, welcome to another kind of impromptu live stream. And by impromptu, I decided this morning that I wanted to do this live stream. Basically, well, I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes for people potentially come and join. Although legend that is Thomas, aka Window Beer Reviews, already doing some shout outs. So he's saying evening to everyone, and he's also saying please like and share. I know no one will prove me wrong. So massive thank you for that, Thomas. Really do appreciate the support. It's a little bit dark, isn't it? So I think I better put some light on. There we go. So yeah, evening James as well. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've got a nice weekend planned. It's going to be a bit of a quiet one for me aside from work, but hey ho, it is what it is. So got two beers from Overtone that we're looking at. Both of them are Sabro related, hence the it's not even like a clever title, is it? Really. I was trying to think of something fun and clever to put as my title, but I've got to be fun and clever to come up with something fun and clever, to be honest. But anyway, Thomas says hi, James. And oh, James is going to Rivington. Nice. I do really want to go to the sort of tap room bar. It's like on that campsite, isn't it? But yeah, Rivington. I've not had anything from Rivington for a while. Very. Would underrated be the right word? Because they do get a lot of fanfare, but I still think they are a little bit underrated compared to some. But yeah, it sounds like a good weekend to be had. I think me and Adam have been trying to get something arranged, and maybe Rob from Hopsy as well. Although I don't think Rob's really been enjoying too much of their output recently, which is a shame, because I think they're a damn good brew. But hey ho, different people are into different things. So let's move all this out of the way. Anyway, so yeah, nothing in the description as I'm doing this stream, because I forgot to put stuff in the description. And I usually say, oh, there'll be links once this has got uploaded for playback, but there probably won't be. But it's the 21st century. You can literally speak to your phone and they'll take you to Overtone's website. Beautiful spot, definitely underrated. Great pizza as well. Good pizza as well. Yeah, I've heard the pizza there. Can't remember who does it for them. But yeah, to me, like good wood-fired pizza and a tap room. What more could you want? But yeah, have a wonderful time. Maybe in the next couple of months I can get something arranged to go down, because I'm a big fan of Rivington. So today, looking at two beers from the wonderful Overtone over in Scotland. Made a little bit of a cheeky order because they were doing at the time that I ordered free delivery over £20, sort of like incentivizing people to get beers in for the fridge for over the weekend, and that's what I did. Last time I bought from Overtone was, gosh, that was during the first lockdown, I think, because I think a few of us on BeerTube bought some, so we could do like a little bit of a stream, even though I missed the stream. I think I got mine after that. I can't remember. I might have been part of that stream. I don't know. Speaking of which, going to be doing a live review with Harry, aka Blue Nose Beer Reviews, aka Gaping Beer Bay. Looking at another Overtone beer, Busty Yoka, I think it is. Obviously, reference to Limmy, and I can't remember the character he does in those sketches. Fucking, I can't remember. I love Limmy. I think what a transition from a comedian to Twitch, and he's doing a really damn good job. Probably getting to that point where he's more successful because of his Twitch than his actual comedy. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of Limmy related gags, goofs and gaffs when we do our live stream. We're doing that on Tuesday, I think, so I think that'll be over on Harry's channel. And yeah, so Overtone, it's been a while since I've had anything from these guys, and the stuff that I have had has been fantastic. Really quick really quick service as well, considering that you're buying beer from Scotland and getting it the next day, when domestically I'm waiting for a few days before I get beer sometimes. But even that, waiting for a few days for beer, is it really that bad? But yeah, anyway. So the two beers that we have tonight, and just want to say, once again, I apologise if anybody has left a comment and I'm not reading it. I'm only going off what StreamYard is showing me. Because, as some of you may know, YouTube playback sometimes show comments that the comment feed on StreamYard itself doesn't show, and vice versa. So I'm not ignoring people. And I've never blocked anyone. So even if you send an abuse right now, I can't see it. And if I did, I'd read it out, don't worry. But yeah, so the first beer that we have, which is a pale ale, and this is Sabro 6% pale ale. Would that be more IPA? I don't know. Hops are Columbus and Sabro. This is an ode to the distinct flavours of the Sabro hop. Expect coconut, pineapple, and tropical fruit in this light, fluffy pale ale. And yeah, 6% pale ale. Overtone's artwork, fantastic. If anybody's sort of a fan of like late 80s, 90s dance rave culture and underground sort of like dance things, I sound like I'm a 60-year-old man trying to describe youth culture, then you'll probably recognise the artwork. Sort of like underground rave posters, techno, that sort of stuff. Evening, says James. Good evening. Hope you're having a good one. And James says, good evening to James. So it's all about saying hello to each other, sharing a drink. If anybody's drinking tonight, let me know what you're drinking. But yeah, so I like that sort of like fly posting underground rave aesthetic that they have with the big circular designs. So that's the Sabromance. And then next up is Sabrosa, which is 8%, and it's a double IPA brewed with Sabro Incognito and Sabro. So this is just full-on Sabro goodness. How many times can you say Sabro, Peter? So double dry hopped double IPA, showcasing the Sabro hop from both pellets and Incognito form. The beer has a thick body with a strong tangerine aroma and flavour with distinct notes of coconut and pineapple. So looking good. Even looking forward to this, says Neil. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I hope I do a good job, do the beers justice. Drinking Blossoms in Fog Lane by Cloudwater. I saw Blossoms then, I instantly thought of the band. Do you know what? I've not had anything from Cloudwater. I know a lot of people are sort of steering clear of Cloudwater because of someone involved in Cloudwater. But I don't know. I'm not one of those sort of people. I understand why some people are having issues with Cloudwater. Don't like doing this when I'm talking about other breweries when it's something completely different. But I can totally see why some people are choosing to sort of take a step back from buying Cloudwater, especially with the whole change of stance on independent retailers. And I love Paul to bits. I think he's one of the most charismatic and eloquent people in the beer industry. Very idealistic as well. But I think he can be his own worst enemy sometimes. It's all well and good using like your personal account to obviously, to speak your mind about things. That's what it's fundamentally about at the end of the day. It's one of the few things we can do, although that's ever so slowly being taken away from us. But sometimes it can reflect badly on the people who you're employing and the sort of brand of Cloudwater itself. But I'm not going to sit here and shit on Cloudwater, because I think they still brew some of the best IPAs in the UK, and yeah, it's just I've not really bought much. But I hope you're enjoying yours, James. And I'm sure when we go to Manchester or meet up in Manchester, we'll head to Cloudwater. How long did they do the £20 delivery for, said Neil? I think they did up to about, I'm not too sure actually, probably about today. But that being said, 20 quid doesn't really get you too much beer, does it? So when I was doing my order initially, I was like, I've actually reached the threshold of free delivery normally. So then I thought, you know what, I'm not going to do a full order with them. I'll just pick up a eight. I picked up 8 beers. I picked up 2 cans of these. Or did I pick 6? No, 2. Yeah, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I think I literally picked up a 6-pack. So I think it ended today, or they'll probably extend it because I'd imagine it was quite popular. By the way, I've already had these 2 beers. I had both cans last night, but I just wasn't, thinking about it. I just wanted some hoppy beers to enjoy. Complemented the left-handed giant order that I made, and we got an order from, they're called Newtown Park or New Highland Park. I'm mixing up an American brewery there, but the guys out of Bristol got some of their beers coming. Let's see. I'm on Nobody told me we had Wings, a hazy IPA by Left-Handed Giant. Interesting mix of hops. I think I've actually got a can of that because I made a Left-Handed Giant order as well, because I've not had anything from those guys for ages. But I hope you're all enjoying your beers. Anyway, so let's get on to this perfect Friday evening. I'm sure I heard thunder as I was setting up, so I like this sort of weather when it's summer, but then you get the overcast days, which aren't fun if you're planning on doing stuff. But there's something nice about it when it's cooled down a little bit, because I'm fair-skinned, I'm blonde-haired, I'm overweight, so heat and humidity are not my friend. But hey ho, it is what it is. So we'll get both of them open at the same time. Using my St. Mars glass for the Sabro. I'm sort of I don't know if I prefer stemmed glassware or stemless glassware. It's a question that keeps me up at night, quite frankly. God, I can smell that already from down here. From up here, I should say. Not much of a hiss on these cans. And then I'm using my unbarred glass, slightly bigger for the bigger beer. So we'll fill it up to the top so we can get our noses in. But I tell you what, the smell in this room, just by opening these 2 beers, is absolutely tremendous. I definitely think there's a market for craft beer candles. So someone get on that. Because breweries have collaborated with stranger people. So it wouldn't surprise me, especially when the American breweries doing a collaboration with Yankee Candle. Not beer, obviously, but beer-scented candles. Because could you imagine a really nice citrusy IPA candle or freshener? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so beers in the glass then. And I tell you what, they are remarkably similar. I'd say the Sabromance is maybe a little bit darker, but the double IPA, Sabrosa, I need to put these this way so I can remember which beer is which and how to say the name of each beer. But tell you what, there's not much difference in that. especially in terms of like the haziness, the silkiness of the body, the head. There is really not much in that between the two, visually, aesthetically. So this got Sabro, Sabro Incognito, and it's got Columbus and Sabro. Hello, Pete. How's it going, sir? Not too bad, David. How are you? Hope you're having a nice Friday evening. So we'll have a sniff of Sabromance first. Oh. There's like a slight sweatiness to it. A subtle coconutty vanilla-like aroma. Dare I say a hint of kiwi coming through? Then it's got nice, softer, sweeter, citrusy aromas. There's a little bit of mango in there. Pineapple as well. It smells really, really good. And we'll see what the bigger boy smells like. This one's, I'd say, a little bit more danker. It's got that slight sweet sweatiness to it. But there's quite a, well, not quite a savoury element. There's a hint of a savoury element in there. Again, you're getting coconut on the nose. I mean, aroma-wise, they are very, very similar. It's almost like, just off the nose without tasting it, Sabrosa is like the sort of higher ABV version of Sabromance. Because again, you're getting that soft, sweet, citrusy aroma. I'd say it's more along the lines of something like, what's it called? Not tangerines. Nectarines? No, not nectarines. Oh, I can't remember it. But the softer, smaller, citrusy fruits. As you can see, I eat fruit all the time. Even has a little bit of a, like a yuzu-like aroma to it. This almost is developing a little bit of a slight menthol aroma. I mean, I could just sit here for the next 10 minutes, constantly going back and forth between the two on the nose and pick out multiple flavours. They're just rampacked in your face, and they both smell absolutely wonderfully inviting. So we'll start with the Sabromance first. Cheers, folks. Wow. It's really good. When was this candle? Does it have the dates? Yeah, it does. I don't want to look at it too much then. Soft, medium mouthfeel. Very gentle, tingling carbonation on your tongue. When you swallow, you get a little burst of coconut coming through, because you don't necessarily get the coconut flavour as you're drinking it. It's a weird sensation. When you swallow, it's like it sort of releases a coconutty flavour. And there's not, if you imagine, I don't want to say perfumey, but if there was ever a coconut flour, like a floralized version. Floralized, there's another word for the dictionary. Like a floral version of coconut. That's what I'm getting with this. Because it has got a floral character to it, without it being like you've accidentally, touched some potpourri and then put your fingers in your mouth. If you want to do that, who am I to judge? I've stuck my own fingers in worse places, so don't worry about any judgment on my part. There's an ever so slight tanginess to it. Prickliness, if that's the right word. Lovely finish. Very gentle bitterness coming through on that. Off to a good start. Love your channel, Beer and Filth. What more do you need? Any suggestions for small, under the radar microbrewers with great beers looking to get their cans out there? First of all, thank you. I think that is quite a good combination, isn't it? Alcohol and smut. What more do you want? If craft beer was properly around in the 70s, I'd have my own sort of like grindhouse theatre with a bar that does craft beer. So it wouldn't just be bodily fluids making the floor sticky. It'd also be clumsy hands. Well, because you'd have to drink. It depends on what hand you use for that sort of business. So as you're shaking, you're going to spill, aren't you? Can't believe I'm talking about wanking when it comes to beer. But yeah, thank you for that. Under the radar. Well, as me and James were discussing a little bit earlier, Rivington, you are seeing their beers out there a bit more, and they've done some collaborations with some of the bigger people in the industry. So they're sort of like you'll find. I mean, you could buy direct from them. I'm not sure if they do. Mind you, last time I checked Rivington's web shop, it wasn't working. But their beers get about. But it'd be better if they got about a little bit more. New Barns are good. Yeah, I would highly recommend New Barns. Their Mosaic table beer is just. I'm kicking myself because they had that on mini keg around Christmas time, and I fucking opted for a Stroop Waffle Stout from Blackjack, which was nice. But when you've got 5 litres of that sort of beer, I'm not going to lie, it was sitting around for a little bit, and I only drank a portion of that keg. So I'm kicking myself I didn't get myself a nice table beer. But then again, that would have gone in a day. It really would. Plus the lagers are awesome as well. I want to try that stout. Fist bump. I want to try that something that is like, I can't remember what it's called, but something dark beer. Sort of like an export stout, I think it was. Sam says good morning from down under. Good morning, Sam. Is it too early to crack open a beer? I don't know. You tell me. Well, it would be Saturday now, wouldn't it? Yeah, good morning. So yeah, New Barns, Rivington. Who else would I say? I can visualize the breweries, but I'm not thinking. It's just not coming to me. We've got New Barns, Don Zoco. Can we say Don Zoco? Well, now that because his Reese's moved up to Scotland to Don Zoco, hasn't he? Now, Don Zoco from Scotland. I'm so out of the loop with beer. There's a small brewery called Brewdog, which, by the way, if anybody's subscribed to their Brewdog and Friends box and they're waiting for this month's box, Prepare to be bitterly disappointed. Black Lodge. Yeah, Black Lodge. Good shout. Could even throw Top Rope in the mix there. They're good. Neptune. They've done some really nice beers. Keep with that Merseyside sort of thing. I mean, as local as it gets, we've got another Neil from Claybrow Brewing here in Skelmersdale. Claybrow's like pretty much like a couple of estates over there. It'd be good to see his beers get out a bit more, especially to some of the drinking venues in Skem. Who else have I had that I've really enjoyed in can form? I know they're getting a bit more popular now, but Three Hills, maybe? Sadie Sam, never an odd time to crack a beer when you're a shift worker. I'm just about to crack one. Sounds good to me, sir. Sounds good. What are you going to be drinking? Tell you what, I'm really interested to get hold of some like classic Australian lagers. I know there's a website here in the UK that specialises in them, but yeah, there just seems to be something really satisfying about the idea of just cracking open like a 4-pack of, is it VB? I can't remember. My brain's turned to mush. But frankly, I've got good beer to keep me afloat. That's lovely, that. That's really, really nice. Sabromance. Good start. So I think we best move on to the double IPA. Sabrosa. Again, just looks very similar. Sort of like bruised fruits coming out now. You know, where they're starting to get a little bit savoury. Am I the only person who notices that? It's even like a slight bell pepper aroma. But then you get that lovely. Got Wankin, Jimmy Savile. A really lovely. How many times am I going to say lovely? Talking to our producer over there. Coconut flavour. Anyway, let's give it a taste. Cheers. I think I'm going to have a few beers tonight. My word. Oh my word. I don't like subscribing to that notion that bigger is always better. But on this occasion, bigger is better. The thing is, Sabromance was really good. This is really, really good. And it's actually a lot more softer. It's a little bit gentler. The body is obviously a little bit bolder. And I'm getting genuine coconut flavour throughout the drinking experience, not just when I swallow. That really does have, I mean, I know what I'm going to say isn't like prime coconut example. Good idea for a t-shirt. But, you know, sometimes when you're having a Bounty bar and a bit like the chocolate sort of breaks off and then you just bite into the actual centre of a Bounty bar. I'm almost getting like that. It's like hop custard. Hop custard with some desiccated coconut sprinkled on top. It's tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. Slight menthol flavour coming through. The texture of this beer is fucking awesome. I've got a feeling I'm going to get interrupted by a phone call, so if I do so, I do apologise. Would I still be able to do a live stream if I put myself in airplane mode? Or would that completely interrupt? Sound like I'm an old man again. Let's see. I'm tossing up between some haze from one of our hyped breweries range or some German lagers. Ooh. See, as much as I love this, do you know what sounds really good right about now? Just an ice cold pint of Augustiner lager beer. Hell, I need to buy a case of that for this summer. Do you know what? I'm gonna be controversial here. I'm drinking 2 hazy IPA, well, a double IPA and allegedly a pale, even though it's 6%. Imagine it does. If you're gonna be picky about that, it's like, who cares really? Who cares for pale ale 6%? Who cares for double IPAs? I've had a beer describes imperial, it's like 6%. Who cares as long as it tastes good? But label your beers correctly. But yeah, I tell you what, I would kill for some just good quality German lager right now. So I'm gonna, not that I think you should do it because free will, but I would personally go for some nice German lagers. What German lagers do you have? Oh, this is so good though. Even the aftertaste is coconut. It always amazes me when it comes to hops, the flavours you can get from it. It's essentially it's a leaf. It's like it's so, I don't know. There's just, it's magic, absolutely magic. Oh, it's just, it coats your mouth. These two taste completely different to what I remember them tasting like last night. But like I said, last night I wasn't really, drinking to. I was just wanted some beers to enjoy. But yeah, these tasting really good. Thanks for recommendations, and it's time for the 42nd Street return. Exploitation films back in the cinema with classic craft beer with a cheering crowd. It's time. Exactly. Get your trench coats and your, not pork pie hats, trilby hats, and just have yourself nice beer, sit in a grungy cinema watching absolute filth. And you never know, once COVID's gone, oh, I said the C word, gonna get my channel taken down. Once that's subsided, then you can have just ladies of the night come sit next to you. Or it doesn't have to be ladies of the night, it could just be another patron. And you can have fun, have a drink, and what more would you need? Do you know what I mean? That sounds like heaven to me, even though I'd probably be shitting myself because there'd be some really shifty characters going around. Did you know anyone near us that does Augustiner on tap? Do you know what? No, but I wish there was. So I remember talking to, is his name John, from Northern Beer Temple, who was telling me about someone getting hold of kegs of Augustiner. Now that to me is just like, that would be a dream, an absolute dream come true. If I could get hold of even a mini keg, I'd pay double than what I probably should do just to get a mini keg of Augustina Lager Beer Hell. That'd just be the dog's bollocks for me. That I don't think there's ever been a beer that I've just absolutely adored. Every time I buy a bottle of it, I love it. Every time I go to a bar and pick up a bottle, I love it. When I was living in Germany, getting bottles of it for less than 90 cents, I was living it. And then when I went to Munich and just had it pretty much on site, straight from the brewery, it's just... Do you know what? I've been to Days Tap Room, one of the best tap rooms ever. One of my favourite tap rooms and beer experiences ever was going to Cloudwater pre-buyout, although I'd still happily go to Cloud. Did I say Cloudwater? I meant Magic Rock. Cloudwater, Magic Rock. For the way Cloudwater have been behaving recently. I'm joking. I put the onus on Brewdog not being able to brew their beer properly. I don't want to shit on Brewdog all the time. I wouldn't be doing this, and I wouldn't be interested in this world if not for Brewdog. But Overtone, much better Scottish brewery. Brought it back onto topic. But yeah, just drinking at Indie Man, which was the first time I didn't realise, but I met James. That was... what a place to drink. What else? The fullest pub in Birmingham. Beautiful, grandiose pub. And they had like Imperial Stout on tap for like £3.30 or something like that for a half. Or no, like 2/3. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, Augustina, the Braustübel, I think it is. It's like pretty much down the road from the train. I say down the road, it's a short bus journey. You could walk it from the train station. But highly recommended if you're going to Munich. You have to. You have to treat yourself to Augustina straight from the brewery. And get some fantastic food as well. Let's see. Fuck it out. I went on I gushed about Augustina and we're not even talking about that. Schneiderweiss Bock, Rathaus Pils, Spartan Hellers, König Dunkel, and Meiselweisser. Oh, tell you what is lovely. Again, on tap when I was in Germany. The König Ludwig Dunkel. To me, after drinking it like that, the bottles just aren't the same. Whereas like Augustina Lager Beer Hell, it's just fundamentally a beautiful beer no matter what. Of course, drinking it fresh on tap, best way to do it. But just the fact that we're getting more and more bottles here in the UK of it. And the prices seem to be coming down a little bit. It's a little bit more sensible to buy yourself the Lager Beer Hell. Especially if you go to like booths. But yeah, got a nice selection there. You're making me feel what was my second home sick. Rathaus Pils is a gorgeous pilsner. Schneiderweiss Bock, though. Is that the Aventinus? Beautiful beer. And the Aventinus Iceberg. Oh, fucking hell, these beers. I'm sorry, Overtone. This is supposed to be about you. But this is probably... I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to... What's the word? Make amends. It's raining and it sounds gorgeous outside. After this stream, got to stand out in the rain for a little bit. Have a cig. Soak in the atmosphere. As much as you can do in a shithole like Skelmersdale, but Hey ho. I really want a storm. I want some thunder and lightning. Oh, there's a little bit of magic in this beer. Just before the end of the beer kicks in, you're getting so much sort of like desiccated coconut. Do you know what it sort of reminds me of? Angel topping with coconut sprinkled on top. Redeem myself. That's the word I was looking for. I'm going to redeem myself after gushing about German beers. This is right now the best double IPA that I've had in a good while. It really, really is. That's beautiful. The coconut doesn't get too perfumey. I said there was a slight reminds you of a floral character coming from the coconut, but again, it's not perfumey. Now drinking this, I'm getting a little bit more citrus flavour coming through, which obviously I'd imagine is coming from the Columbus. But this for me, it's like, why isn't there a brewery that just specialises in Sabro and Yuzu? Could you imagine how nice that there's got to be an IPA that's predominantly Sabro hopped, but it's got Yuzu in there as well. A Sabro, Yuzu, and grapefruit IPA. Yes, please. Someone brew that beer. See, I want a brewery for this time of the year because the Schufferhofer grapefruit, yeah, it's sort of like that. It's a trendy beer. It's sort of like, and I think James will agree with me on this one. Like, you know how Flensburger is really popular in Manchester to the point where, like, Common are making memes about Flensburger. Schufferhofer, I want to see some UK breweries make their own sort of interpretation of Schofferhofer grapefruit or Schufferhofer. Is it Schofferhofer? I can't remember how you even spell it. So I'm not even going to be able to pronounce the umlauts properly. But yeah, I'd love to see someone do a gravel like the Stiegel grapefruit Radler. Going back to German beers again, and I don't want to take away too much from two absolutely fantastic beers from an absolutely fantastic brewery. That is Overtone. Both these beers, by the way, highly recommended. It'd be great if you could still get them with the free delivery over £20, but the selection of beers at the moment, you're probably going to go over that anyway and into the free delivery threshold that's standard, which I think is like 40 quid. But yeah. It's been a bit of a drought for me recently with like really high quality, like hoppy beers. But I'm making a few orders that should hopefully rectify that. Let's see. Any brewery that ruins Elvis Juice deserves to be on the bus with Matt Hancock. Useless. I could not agree more. Why would Brewdog? I mean, you could say that for the Punk IPA as well, which is their flagship, which should be their best beer. It should be a beer that's. I mean, it's still the most popular and highest growing sort of grossing craft beer in the UK, from what I can gather. But why would you take Elvis Juice, which is perfect as it is, and then just completely destroy it? I don't understand why they've changed the recipe of Elvis Juice. I just can't see them sat round the table with like shareholders and people from the brewery. And then going, oh, do you know what we really need to do? Because we've seen how successful it's been. Well, it technically has, because Brewdog's one of the most popular, if not the most popular craft beer in the UK. With what we've done to Punk IPA, maybe Elvis Juice could do with something like that. And it's like, you fucked it. You blew it. Throwing shade on Brewdog again. It's easily done. But yeah, those 4 beers from the Brewdog and Friends box, inexcusably bad. I actually genuinely feel sorry for the brewer, because not only has he had to, he or she, I'm not sure who the head brewer is at Brewdog. I'm not really good at knowing people in the industry, so forgive me for making generalizations and stuff. But I feel sorry for them, because not only did they have to brew that beer, I mean, I feel sorry for the guest breweries who were entrusting Brewdog with their recipes, and also their reputation to a market where their beers aren't necessarily popular. So I'm feeling sorry for them. I'm feeling sorry for the brewer having to brew those 4 beers. And then also I feel sorry for them because they've brewed the beer. And obviously you taste a product before you release it to market. And I can't envision anyone drinking those beers and thinking, oh, do you know what? This is going to be really popular. But that's just me. You know, I am usually an apologist, devil's advocate, but those beers were just really, really bad. But thankfully, I've got really, really good beers tonight. Let's see. Someone says, Ad Augustina Helles for the first time a few days ago. Brilliant. Yeah, to me, it's like, that to me is the threshold of a Helles lager. I just can't get enough of the stuff. Say that, it's probably been about half a year since I've drank it, which is absolute sacrilege. So I am going to have to, once the weather gets a little bit nicer, get myself a nice crate of that. And then we've got the legend that is Craig, aka Kent Beer Reviews, who says, cheers, Peter. Cheers, Craig. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you've been having an okay week, or a good week, or a great week. I hope everyone's had a great week, not just an okay week. Oh man, Sabro and Yuzu, yes, says Sam. Do you know what? It's just envisioning that idea. I'm like shaking. We've got Jagman7 says, cheers all. Cheers. Hope you're doing well. Still Ad Augustina Helles has got one. But haven't got one in the fridge. Maybe it's time you cracked it open, because I mean, it's happened a couple of times when I've gushed about Augustina Helles. I mean, Adam, who's got no taste buds, specifically, is not a big fan of it. Mersey beers, and there's been times where people have gone, "Yeah, it's all right." That's it. You know, I don't have like a vested interest in Augustina. You know, I'm not a shareholder, even though I think they're still technically a family. I don't know. I should know more about the history of the brewery that does my favourite beer. But yeah, hopefully when you do crack it open, you really enjoy it, because I think it's an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous example of the style. This is still really good, but when you're drinking this alongside of it, it kind of falls by the wayside. But that's just because of how magnificent, like genuinely magnificent, this beer is. Just every mouthful is. Oh, it's just the texture, the smoothness, the depth, it's just perfect. For a double IPA, that's exactly what I want in terms of its body. It's a marvellous beer. Did you get this? Have you had this as well, Craig? Or are you talking about Augustina Lager? Because both beers marvellous. But yeah, this is just it's doing all the right things. It's Matt Hancock, and I'm his aide right now. Which I know, like, people are getting annoyed, rightfully so, because, you know, he's been obviously the forefront of the last year or so with telling us what to do, taking our liberties away, then giving them back, but not really. I mean, I'm not going to say take your liberties. You've got to do what you've got to do for the betterment and the safety of your citizens. I get that. But I'm more annoyed at the fact that someone like Matt Hancock can not only get a relationship in the first place, but also has women out there who are willing to be his affair. I can't even get a girl to send me a photo of her tits. And this fucking gormless gobshite is fucking... And I bet she's not the only one. I bet there's other women, and how annoying is that? But at the same time, it sort of gives me hope, and it should give other people hope that if Matt Hancock can pull something like that off, then we all can. But yeah, I'm more annoyed about that than the fact that he's being a hypocrite. The fact that his main apology was, "Oh, I'm sorry I didn't stick to social distancing." It's like, are you fucking serious? You fucking toffee-nosed piece of wank shit. Wank shit. That's what you are. You're a wank shit. But yeah, anyway, the memes are funny though. But hey ho. And will he get sacked? Willie Falk. Willie Falk gets sacked. Let's see. Hi Craig, when's your next live? Says Sam. Have I missed previous comment? Craig has just confirmed he was talking about the Augustine L. And then Jagman says, Steady Rail Man has just gone on tap at Beer Gorilla. Hopefully be some left tomorrow. Oh, very nice. Although that being said, the last Steady Rail Man I had was the stuff that's been contract brewed. Because I think because obviously it's the core of core beers for them. I think they are contract brewing to, was it? I'm sure Adam said it was Glen Affric. And I think I had one of those cans and it just didn't have that magic that I remember Steady Rolling Man having. But yeah, having it on tap. I mean, I'd happily, stock up on Steady Rolling Man. So fingers crossed for you that it is on tap, because that's a lovely beer. Lovely beer on tap, that. Let's see. And Craig, Sam's asking Craig when his next live is. Maybe a little later, Sam. Well, if you're around, I'll definitely be jumping on. Perks of working from home, I can drink a little bit more. I mean, I'll constantly have to put myself on unavailable because I won't even be shitting through an IV needle because the needle would just be covered in liquid shit with my hangover poos. A bit too much information there, Peter, but you keep being you. You tactless, crass piece of shit. Saving lives, shagging wives was my fave. I mean, top shagger. clearly. Gormless prick, but he's a top shagger. It just goes to show, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter how fucking stupid or annoying you are, if you've got a little bit of money, a little bit of power, it makes a difference. Not that I'm jealous of Matt Hancock, though. Fucking hell. Then Sam says, sweet. James says, Matt Hancock getting laid is a mystery, but Peter Sutcliffe used to get fan mail. Very true. It just shows you that people are strange, as Echo and the Bunnymen once sang. Was Hancock Cummings? Oh, he nearly was. I bet he cries afterwards. Does he fake cry when he comes, do you reckon? Overtone Brewing, fantastic brewery. 2 great beers that I'm drinking. And Matt Hancock pretends to cry when he comes. Go check out Overtone in the description down below. But don't, because the link isn't in the description because I've got to do it. But yeah, I don't know, Matt Hancock, I don't know if he's comings or goings. It's not even remotely a sex joke, is it? It's just a pun on his name. I know, I could have done better. But that's me off the cuff. Nah. It was still funny, though. I think it was still funny. Yeah. What's funny to you isn't funny to me, but what's funny to me might not be funny to you. Okay? Thank you. Let's see. Probably Jagman, says Craig. And I live close to Hannock. Almost knocked him over the other week. Power equals Fanny. Bojo has multiple lovers and children. If he worked in Weatherspoons, not a chance. Exactly. Or if he does a live stream doing beer reviews. I don't have any tinfoil, so I can't put it on my head. But I think that one of the main reasons why I often get overlooked by women is because as soon as they set eyes on me, who's the first fucking person that they're going to think of? Well, it's not going to be Andy fucking Warhol, is it? It's going to be Boris fucking Johnson. So I'm being cock-blocked by Boris Johnson. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And then we've got the Sexy James says, first words when I spread the stream, power equals Fanny. Open the stream, not spread. God. Need new glasses, obviously, fellas. But, yeah. Let's see. You are lowering the tone. Took me a second then, Craig. Craig's on form. See, now that's funny. It's conversation starter. Bojo's cock blocking me. Just anyways. But anyways, evening sexy. Well, good evening, James. And James, I have good news on the Pilsner Urquell front. I think Adam may be able to drop some off for me. But I think with the fact that I'll be able to actually do stuff again on Tuesday, I'll probably be able to pick some up then. But yeah, I'm talking business on the stream. But yeah, there's plenty of times you can take what I say out of context. What can I say? No filters. No filters at all. Let's see. Rag says, yo from down south. I'm from the northwest. that doesn't translate well. Good evening, Raggy Sir. Hope you're doing well. Shagging in Southampton, says James. Dan Saff. Oi oi Raggy, hope you're good, mate, says Jagman. And Raggy's rolling on the floor laughing. I'm now, we found a car park. Is Raggy on? Are you on your travels, Raggy? You've probably explained this on your live streams and in the group chat, but I don't half get behind on those chats sometimes. This stream is dirty. Scissors and Fanny in the first 5 minutes. Scissors and Fanny, the clueless drinker story. Dogging in London. Craig H has joined. Going to Paulton's Park for the weekend. Oh, very nice. I bet that's been a very welcome. Words come into my head, but they don't come out of my mouth, and then I forget what the words are. I don't know. Maybe I need I was going to say mammogram, but we've already had one of those, haven't I? Maybe you need a CAT scan, because there's got to be some damage up there. I don't know. Would you get that sorted for me? Thanks. But yeah, I bet that's been... Fucking hell, why can't I speak? I think he knows what I'm talking about anyway. Something to look forward to, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time, Raggy. Is dogging a term used in English? I thought dogging was universal. To dog. Too much party. Supposed to be a Mancunian accent there, James. I get it, yeah. With my infamous Manchester parties. Make this a long drink. A long all-nighter. Love it, says Neil. I don't think I can hold a captive audience for that long, to be honest, Neil. But I do appreciate the sentiment. Just don't flash your lights 3 times. Fucking hell, up here, you don't even need to flash your lights. They're on you like a fly on shit. Not talking from personal experience, of course. Never let it slip, man. I nearly found out. You're going to get me in trouble one of these days. What? Yeah, I've got a reputation, haven't I? Dogging is always part of the English language. I love to dog it. How's the isolation? Seeing you're started talking to yourself, getting an answer yet? Well, have you not heard? Sat there. He's gone now. They all leave, don't they? Joe, isolation's not too bad. Made a nice mural on that wall with my own shit after a voice in my head told me to do it, obviously. And there was a pigeon on the windowsill, and voice told me to rip its beak off and make a necklace out of it. So I just need some string now. Might use my own hair. Let's see. Isolation's going good. I mean, I got my main negative result. It only got flagged up because someone who I work with tested positive. Then you have to go through the rigmarole of, oh, you know someone you know and be in contact with was tested positive. So I got the PCR test, which made me gag as if I was being face fucked by John Holmes. Came back negative, But Track and Trace got in touch, which, by the way, they fucking harass you. Especially if, as soon as you say to them you feel okay, they start to play this game where they're trying to trick you into saying, well, actually, now you've said that, I do feel such and such. But yeah, so I got asked to do or be part of the trial, mainly because I get 40 quid's worth of shopping vouchers afterwards. Not going to turn that down, am I? Like this sort of like trial that they're doing with a couple of universities, which I think is to sort of be an alternative to the blanket isolation periods that you have. So instead of just saying, oh, you have to isolate for 10 days, what I think they're trialing is they'll send you 2 PCR tests and 7, what are they called? Something flow tests. The ones with the droplets, you get a result in half an hour. Static flow? It's not static flow, you fucking dickhead. Static flow. Oh, what's it called? Something flow. I can't remember. I've missed comments as well. I'll catch up on the comments. What are they called? Something flow tests. I can't. But yeah, it's one of those ones where you stick it in your tonsils, up your nose, and you put it in the solution, and then you drip 2 drops on the test, and then you get a result in half an hour. So they sent me 7 of those. So on the first day, I did a PCR, which I'd already done a PCR 2 days before and was still waiting for my results. So I was double deep-throated by John Holmes over the weekend. Which, by the way, they've not sent me those results back yet, unless I think they're just keeping it for a trial. I don't know. Because, yeah, so anyway, so what I think they're doing is, instead of just giving people lateral flow, did someone say lateral flow? Yeah, James said lateral flow. Maybe someone said it before. No, James said. It came to me as you wrote that then. But I'll give you credit for being in my mind. You're always on my mind, James. Mind James. It's Mind Games. That one fell flat. Oh, you're back again. Okay. Yeah. So I think what they're doing is someone might be doing this anyway. Basically, so you get 7 lateral flow tests, 2 PCR tests. On the first day, you take a PCR test and your first lateral flow test. So if you're negative, then for that day, you can go about your business doing essential things. So like going to work, going to the shops, blah, 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 blah. So then you log that and then they get the information. So then the next day, you do another lateral flow. If it's negative, you can go about your business, essential purposes, and so on and so forth. So I think they're doing that as opposed to just saying you have to stay at home because someone who you saw once or who happened to be in the same venue as you, even though you didn't have any contact with them, you have to isolate for 10 days. I think it's sort of like an alternative to that. And then after the trial, one of the people from one of the universities calls up, does a little bit of an interview, and then you get yourself 40 quid's worth of shopping vouchers. So I was doing it anyway because I have to isolate till Sunday anyway. So I thought for a couple more days, working from home again. So it's a piece of piss. Plus, it's quite cool to be part of something, even though technically the vaccines are still in their sort of trial period anyway. Isn't it like 2023? It's like we're basically part of a clinical study with the vaccine. I've said the V word. channel's definitely getting shut down now. But yeah, I'm happy I've had my first fee. Do you remember your first fee? I was due to have my second one, but now I have to wait 4 weeks more because I've been isolating. So it's delayed that slightly. But it's not like I'm going on holiday, which I don't understand why people... Why would you want to go on holiday now? Do you know what I mean? But if you are going on holiday, you're a lucky fucking bastard, because I could do with a holiday. I was supposed to be going to treat myself to a weekend away in Italy or Paris, but that's not happening for a little while. But I'm going to be getting pissed in Liverpool with Harry Gape Nose reviews. That just makes it sound like he's got a massive nose. I was trying to make a gaping joke, but it didn't work. And of course, Adam. And I think Bullman might be down. Hugh potentially would have come down, but I think he's going to be working and busy. I'm not sure what Rob's doing because obviously it's like slobbering. Hop City's been pushed back. But then again, God, my nose is getting blocked. Rona. It sucks because this part of the bedroom, there's a lot of dusty shelves and surfaces because I'm a scrubber, basically. But yeah, that was lovely. The Sabro Mance. Exactly what you want from Sabro, with maybe a little bit more citrusy flavours. Whereas this, oh God, it's repeating on me. Sabrosa, or Sabrosa, I'm not sure how you properly pronounce it. This to me is like pinnacle of what you want with Sabro hops. And double IPAs. It's just tick, 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 passing with flying colours. And even now it's getting more towards room temperature, it's just still tasting absolutely mega. Both beers are fucking awesome, but Sabrosa, out of the two, if you're looking for your Sabro kick, then this is probably, I'm going to go out on a limb, probably one of the best Sabro hopped beers that I've had. Because the amount of times I've been searching for coconut in Sabro, because you're not always going to get Sabro. You're not always going to get coconut with Sabro. It depends on how the hop's been utilised. Do you know what I mean? That you could get a lot of different flavours from the Sabro hop. I've found it to be one of the most intriguing and versatile hops when drinking Sabro hopped beers. But as someone who likes to chase the coconut, sounds like a euphemism for something. As someone who likes to get those big coconut flavours, don't know why my nose is suddenly blocked. Then this to me is just... I'm clutching it. I'm like Log Lady from Twin Peaks. Fucking Twin Peaks. Let's see. Oh, Craig said lateral flow much earlier. Apologies about that, Craig. Giving James all the credit there. Let's see. How's isolation? What are you talking about? Raggy is a sexy beast. They just know. Says James, of course. I am a little far behind. Little far behind. Hagman says, haha, very true. Presume the Mueller was a penis that was quickly converted into a spaceship. I knew there were fucking cameras in this bedroom. Always fucking watching. The man, the legend, the ragster, definitely. Sweden just doesn't care. How is it, like, what are your cases like in Sweden, James? And apologies if this has already been discussed in the comments. And then Craig rightfully says lateral flow, backed up by the other Craig H. Evening. I don't think I've actually said evening properly to you, Craig H. So evening. Thank you for joining me. New beer. Dest Beak Brewery. I need to make a Beak haul. Although, if you're from Skelmersdale and the surrounding areas, Beak means something completely different. All I'm going to say. Well, I should have done that. I've blocked my nose even more. God, I think I am actually allergic to dust. Rapid lateral flow, says James. Canberra reviews fancy a lateral bum. I'm that nightmare that doesn't go away. We need to fix a Germany trip. James's Nightmare in Germany. That'd be a good name for a series, that. It's just James visiting really beautiful churches in Germany and just shouting Hail Satan a lot. But yeah, Germany, we have to get we have to get more travel sorted. Do you know what? I was due to visit friends in Germany over the past year and a bit, which has been hard not being able to visit them because it was almost like a yearly thing. But yeah, even if I wanted to go over there and then isolate, they've just had the first child. Well, I think child will be approaching 2 years old now. The last thing I want to do is be a health risk. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I do miss my my German friends. Not just my German friends, my German friends. But yeah, we have to get that sorted. Get my first one on Wednesday. Would that be your jab? We're going to call it jab so we don't get flagged by the algorithm. And why not Copenhagen, Mikkeller, and other surrounding breweries are available, of course, even though Mikkel monopolises Copenhagen by the sounds of it. I had my first one yesterday, just feel like being punched in the arm, not too bad. When I had the Pfizer jab, I felt absolutely fine. A little bit of a ache in the arm, but it wasn't like, do you know what I mean? Some people, it was really bad for some people in terms of the pain. But yeah, I felt absolutely fine. But then just like for one day, a few days afterwards, I just felt so drained. I was so achy, felt lightheaded. But that lasted half a day and then just absolutely fine. So I think I've been quite lucky there. James asks, was it Fowen? Sam says, I'd kill for a holiday now. Since COVID started, I've worked flat out without any time off for a year and a half. Most of my R&R time has been stuck at home alone due to our brutal lockdowns. Yes, I did see. Especially, I mean, I'm not going to be one of those people who criticises the police, but seeing some really awful videos coming out of Australia with just like police harassment and the way they're speaking to people in public. And yeah, it's mind you, you've been seeing some of that here in the UK as well. But yeah, I'm really blessed that I'm living back at home with the family. So I've got company. I'm still able to work. I've been working at the office for the best part of about half a year now, and it's only working back at home now because I'm isolating. So I'm lucky that I can still work. Although, not gonna lie, a week of furlough, I'd have happily taken a bit of a hit on this month's wage. Do you know what I mean? But then again, just being sat at home doing nothing, I get bored shitless, and I also end up spending money online. And I don't just mean OnlyFans. Which, by the way, I've been very well behaved. I haven't renewed any of my OnlyFans subscriptions this month. So, because, not going to lie, a lot of paywalls on OnlyFans, which is very annoying. March was very expensive. But anyway, God, acting. Where else do you get acting like this? Sam, you never sent us the link to the Twitch. Ah, you're a Twitcher. Oh, oi, oi. Talus is lovely too. Got a Talus spear from Left-Handed Giant, I think. Or it might be one of the Overtone beers. Can't remember. I've not had too many beers with Talus, actually. Moderna or Madonna, as I like to call it. I had Pfizer. Just thought I'd let you know. Talus is my new fave, says Sam. Interesting. What characteristics do you usually get from Talus? Ramstein says they talk about 3.3% rate of here. Pretty sure I've had it. I think I personally had it. I had it. Personally, I think I had it. Formulate a proper sentence, Peter. Back in March, and not March, January of last year, because the only reason why I say it might not have been COVID. Said the C word. If the stream gets interrupted, I do apologise. The tyrants do not want us to utter such words. But I think I actually had it in January last year because that has been the only time in recent memory where I've actually had to leave work immediately, because I've never been so... I mean, even the symptoms don't really fall in line. But yeah, I was very high temperature. I was extremely lightheaded. And I had like those cold sweats. And a massive headache, sore throat. It was probably just the flu, to be honest. Which isn't it just the flu anyway? But yeah, so I think I've already had it, to be honest, because I've not been ill really since, well, for any of this. In fact, I'd say I don't tend to get ill in general anyway, but since this whole thing has been kicking off, I've not really had any sort of illness, ironically, which is strange. Anyway, bathtub ales, heart. Oh yes, there may be some bathtub ales in Liverpool in a few weeks with Harry and Adam. Going straight from work to Liverpool for a bottle share, and then I might have to see if I can crash Harry's accommodation. Let's see. Hail Satan. What's that? Satan. That was my feeble attempt of hailing Satan. Goldrake says evening, or Gold Drake, not Gold Drake. Good evening. How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. He says, I just got back from the pub. It was mod themed tonight, so some great tunes were pumping out. I'm eagerly anticipating some of James's responses to anything to do with mods. But yeah, sounds good to me. Did they have a good selection in the pub? Both alcohol and music wise. I think it's Moderna I'm getting. No OnlyFans for me. I do no FAP. Tried that for a week, and I was moody. Let's put it that way. Very moody. Do you think I'm getting to the point where I'm saying a bit too much? Or do you think we're still okay? It's your call. You are the manifestation of my conscience. Oh, it's flying away. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. Yeah, not too bad, Moderna. I get it in the left, so I could lift a 2/3 with my right. Now that is clever. If you're ordering from Overtone direct, by the way, highly recommend Dead End Brewing Machine. Their barley wine is amazing. They didn't have much on their website recently. Well, when I placed this order, I think it was like a 4-pack of something. That was the only thing that they had from Dead End. I've had some lovely stuff from them. I see a lot of people say it's expensive for what it is, but yeah, it's sort of like really. Well, it's not exactly homebrew, is it? But it's not exactly commercial. But does it fall into nano? But the fact that I had like was it a smoked maple imperial stout, and that was a bit of a pricey beer, but that's because the guy from Dead End actually imported like proper maple syrup from Canada, and that could be really fucking expensive. A lot of the stuff you get in the supermarkets when it comes to maple syrup is just well, it still tastes good, obviously, but it's just nowhere near. I mean, to be honest, I've never really bought proper maple syrup, so I can't really say this as if I've tasted loads of different maple syrups and have an authority on it. But yeah, the stuff we get here, unless you go to like specialist shops or have it bought in, is just nowhere near as good as the genuine stuff. So it costs a lot of money to get those sort of ingredients. So I can justify one off. But from what I've seen, the prices that Overtone are charging aren't too bad. I should have actually highlighted that comment. Talus is usually a very bright grapefruit. Oh, we all have a bit of grapefruit, don't we? A fruit in your gape. Sounds like a good party game to me. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds like very nice hop. With Talus, I get similar tropical vibes to Sabro. Ooh. But also an evergreen, charismatic example, piney, grassy, herbal, even mint. I love it, and even more when used well on the West Coast. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds perfect for like a properly brewed West Coast, which it's hard to come by now. Let's see. James Thomas says, UK, what time is it? It's a couple of minutes past 9. It was probably about 8 o'clock when you sent that comment, and I've only just got round to reading it. Okay, I'm back. What did I miss? Well, you missed me doing the helicopter with my penis. That's the one thing that you missed. Highlight of the show. You didn't miss much. Just some good conversation about OnlyFans, jabs, off-camera conversations with someone who sat in the windowsill now, all hunched up. Looks like me, but he's covered in hair. He's got a pipe. Strange man. I've not had a cold since working from home. 18 months that's been. The aircon at work the first week back would do me in. Yeah, that's one thing about work. That's another reason why I've got no like drive to do any traveling, because I do get a little bit ill or get like the sniffles and congested when I do fly. just because it's recirculated air. So why would I want to do that now when there's a, you know, a deadly. No, it is. It is really serious. I mean, I've been noticing a lot of places on Instagram, like their Instagram pages, like cafes and pizzerias and eateries and stuff having to close down because of positive test results. So it is, spiking again. I don't think it's as potent or as deadly as it was, mainly because, here in the UK we've had a really good program. For the most part, people have been sensible. I don't think people are going to instantly think, well, fuck it, if Matt Hancock's not sticking to social distancing, then I'm not. I don't think as a nation we're going to go to those lengths just because Matt Hancock has got his hand on a woman's arse whilst he's probably having his cock fondled. But well, I'd like to think so. Like, just people need to be sensible. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, if people want to go on holiday, go on holiday. I personally think it's a bit pointless. But then again, there are some countries now where there's no quarantine period, so I don't understand how that is when at the same time they're really sort of like pushing this narrative that, oh, cases are going up again, it's become more of a threat. But don't worry, you could go to this country, just go, come back, you don't have to isolate for any period of time. It's fine. Put your feet up whilst I've got me fucking tongue down someone's throat. Matt Hancock. Top shagger. Let's see. I just read Craig's comment then. I had a few pints of IPA and Butty Back. Oh, Music Slasher was great. The Jam and the Who and a bit of the Kinks. 3 great bands. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of a quick one while she's away from the Who. I've forgotten how much I love that album. And then just Eminence Front is like playing every sort of 2 or 3 songs. But yeah, sounds good to me, man. My daughter just called you Peter Rabbit. Oh, bless her. I hope she's doing okay. In fact, I hope you're all doing okay, Craig. And if you are live, it'll be nice to catch up properly. Let's see. Boris shouldn't have extended the Freedom Day. It was pointless. Absolutely pointless. Really was. Can't bear reviews. Oh, laughing at my expense, Jagman. Joking. Good thing I brought some. Oh, because he needs a beer. What beers have you brought, Raggy? Don't drink too much, though. You don't a red card when you're on a... Is it a theme park? Are you going... Where you're visiting? Red card and then fucking spewing all over the general public as you're on the roller coaster. Let's see. Don't worry, she can't hear you. Oh, bless her. Yeah, the Who are a top band, definitely. John Entwistle, the Ox. I could just listen to his bass lines. Him and Keith Moon. I mean, yeah, I know Roger Daltrey, Pete Townsend. They're like the face of the Who. Obviously, because they're the 2 remaining band members. But fucking hell. John Entwistle. One of my, if not my favourite bass player of all time. And then Keith Moon. What a combination. And not just musically as well. Just imagine hanging around with those two back in the day. Fucking hell. Matt Hancock IPA tastes like the new Elvis juice. As she said that. Does that come out? Come out. Peter, you're better than that. Pigeons eat anything, put some garlic bread in the garden, and they are fighting over it. Never knew that. I remember I accidentally, because I was having a McDonald's burger, and it was at the time where I didn't like having gherkins on burgers. And you know, you bite into it and you realize, oh shit. So you pull out. I just because I was rebellious teenager, threw it, and then it actually landed on a pigeon's back, and I must have spent a good 10 minutes trying to catch up to the pigeon so I could take it off because it couldn't fly. The weight of the gherkin was preventing the pigeon from flying, and I felt really cruel. I got there in the end. Hero. Absolute hero. Yeah, Whistle is one of the best players. Just listen to that isolated bass track on Won't Get Fooled Again and Barbara O'Reilly. Fucking hell. And even the bass line to Eminence Front. Just, you listen to that song, and obviously you've got Pete Townsend down, 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 and then the keyboards. But you just hear John Entwistle, just these little licks every now and then. It's just it's like the Ox. What a nickname. How's the bar in the garden going? Clue string. It's going good. We had to get a new gazebo because the old gazebo was falling apart and it wasn't very weatherproof. So yeah, that being said, because we've got a new shed, which we're still in the middle of putting the finishing touches to it. The bar and the gazebo has now become just excess storage, so won't be hosting any mad parties anytime soon. But yeah, it just needs to, if I'm being honest, because we've not really done anything to it since we built it, so we just need to neaten it up a bit. Another lick of paint. Some of the surfaces could do with because they've become a little bit loose. So it's still upright, looks good, but there's some little wonky bits, so we just need to get that sorted once we've done the shed. But yeah, it's going good, and I'm looking forward to actually being able to have people round again. And Goldrake says, I've actually met Pete Townsend a couple of times at the Who. My family got backstage passes. My family are big on the mod scene. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been very blessed with parents who like good music. Mainly my dad, because he got me into likes of the Smiths, Echo and the Bunnymen, China Crisis, Gomez, Jeff Buckley. But yeah, mum. Well, my mum, even though she likes more pop 80s and dance music, she did get me into my favourite band of all time, The Clash. So yeah, very, very lucky to have good musical upbringing. But yeah, nice. I could have listened to some Jam right now. I tell you what, I recently discovered, and I can't believe the rock that I've been sleeping under. But the Jam's version of Move On Up, fucking hell, what a fantastic version of that song. I was only about 9 at the time. I had a good 20-minute chat with him about music. He's really nice in person. Yeah, I know some people, there's that whole thing that people talk about Pete Townsend about, which we're not going to get into, but yeah, just musically, what a genius. I mean, I'm probably getting information slightly wrong, but it was thanks to him that like Dolby surround sound was really developed, wasn't it? With like Tommy and obviously all of his like keyboard synthesizer work. What a talented man Pete Townsend is. The Jam have done some great covers. My daughter likes wine, as said in Braintree. Eh? My daughter likes wine, as said in Braintree. I think I'm having a very blonde moment because that's gone way over my head. But yeah, all very talented. They are indeed. Yeah, some of the Jam's covers like Beat Surrender. I think that is a cover, isn't it? Beat Surrender. Well, yeah, just Paul Weller. The whole Style Council thing, love that. My favourite song from Braintree is probably The Butterfly Collector, and it is B-side track. The Jam have some really good B-sides. Yeah, I like the B-sides. Butterfly Collector. It's quite a dark song, but it's got a really nice sort of like chorus, from what I remember. No, it's not a cover. Okay. So Beat Surrender's one of their own songs. But yeah, Paul Weller's very talented man. I don't know why I assumed that was a cover. But yeah, Jam, News the World, Pretty Green. David Watts, Start. I cannot English to drink. I think you shouldn't have corrected yourself there, because to drink is infinitely more perfect than correcting yourself to too drunk. But yeah, Art School. Was it called Art School? That's a good song. I've got a pocket full of pretty green. Set the House Ablaze. I like that song. The start of that song is the power in that guitar. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just biting my nail on camera there. Yeah, the Jam. They're one of those bands that I really like listening to, but I wouldn't say I'm like fanatical about. Butterfly Collector about a woman called Sue Catwoman that used to run around the punk scene in London and tried to shag all the bands. Sound Effects, yeah, that Sound Effects a great album. Sorry, I keep biting them. Biting those, just throw them on the floor. Some scummy. James' version of David Watts is great. See, I'm not a big fan of James. I don't know, I could never get into James. He's a very, very captivating frontman. I can't remember his name from James, but never really been a big fan. Joe, I'm going to crack open another beer. I'm going to open one of those shitty Scottish beers that I've got. Like I said, I don't like bad-mouthing breweries, but I think on this occasion it's very much justified. The Jam. Oh, not James. Speaking of bass guitar, I was listening to Black Sabbath, Walk to Work. Yes, that intro to NIB is rad. Do you know what? I need to listen to more Black Sabbath. Because I like the whole sort of like doom side of metal, like Electric Wizard. And I know Black Sabbath sort of have that, where it's hard to describe, because metal music in general I enjoy, but I'm hardly, you know, an expert on it. Fucking hell, what was that sentence, by the way? But yeah, I need to listen to more like classic Black Sabbath. Oh, it's just not good. It's just really bad. I am fucking drinking plants. It's like slightly hoppy cabbage water, Bosch beer. Let's see, Black Sabbath only up the road from me. The Am Boys. James will sit next to me. See, that's a good song. But I don't know. I can't get on with James. I'm talking about the band, not Rampant Lion Wanker Reviews. I seen them in Melbourne for their tour. Fucking amazing. Was that Black Sabbath? God, I bet they're a good gig. I saw Metallica at Rock am Ring in 2015 or 14, and I've got to say, what has happened to them? It was like this whole, there was like a really big corporate side of things where they were like, they'd like pre-filmed sort of like what's the word, like fan requests, and like they play a couple of songs and then there'd be something playing on like the big screen behind them, and then it'd be all cheesy James Hetfield, and he's like, that man needs to start drinking and taking drugs again, because he's just got no personality. But I do like older Metallica. Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin lived in my granddad's road in West Brom. He was a mate of his, my uncle, just doing with Plant's cousins. They still do. Oh, that's nice. I love hearing stuff like that. Raleigh Street, West Brom, is where Robert Plant was a kid, a few doors down from my old family's place. Awesome. I'm yet to see Metallica. We keep getting fucked over with their gigs here in Melbourne. I mean, I'm sure if you're like, because I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but when I was at the festival, I was like, oh, Metallica are playing, I have to go see them. But it just seemed quite toned down to what I'd imagined Metallica to be. James Beccaria, COVID. Their tours keep getting. Oh, so he's actually. Oh, I feel shit now. So he's actually back in rehab. Did he relapse? Fucking hell. Just watched Django Unchained yesterday for the first time. Brilliant film. I really enjoyed Django Unchained, and I love the fact that they've got Franco Nero doing a cameo. That being said, not a big fan of the original Django film. Aside from the people who wear like the red sort of robes, they look cool. But yeah, the original Django film, not a fan. What's your fave film by Tarantino? It's got to be a bit of a boring answer, but I really like Death Proof. Because I think that's the closest he's got to actually making a film that could have been made in the 70s. You know, one of those like cult classics where you watch it, nothing much happens in it, but it's still a captivating film. I mean, some could say it's not his best writing. But yeah, I really enjoy Death Proof. I like the way it flows. It's a bit slow. Plus, there's that scene where she's dancing in the bar, which is always nice to see. Denim cut-off shorts. Need I say more? Now, this was a year or two ago. Was one of the reasons that. Oh, I see. So he's on the mend now, or he's getting back. Well, that's good to hear. I take it back. That said, he needs to drink and do drugs again. But yeah, I didn't realise he'd actually relapsed. This bit is fucking awful. I've not seen original Django. It's worth a watch, but I think there's better spaghetti westerns out there. And you've not seen Death Proof. It's one of those. I can see why it's a divisive film. It still has like Tarantino's wit. It's well written. I think it's got some of my favourite characters in there. I think Kurt Russell's awesome in that film. I did pick up Hateful Eight on Blu-ray for £1 in Poundland, and I've only watched like 30 minutes of it. I've got to say that's probably one of Tarantino's best looking films, The Hateful Eight. So I'm looking forward to actually properly watching it. I started watching it on a day off at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Not a good time to watch films. I've not seen many by Tarantino, to be honest. I like Tarantino. I like the fact that a lot of his films are dialogue driven, because it's good, interesting dialogue. It's entertaining. I know a lot of people don't like him because it's like, oh, well, this is just referencing this film, and this is just referencing that film, and that film, and that film. Doesn't matter as long as the film entertains you and keeps you interested. I don't care. I wouldn't even say he plagiarizes. He loves cinema, and he makes films that he wants to watch. And do you know what? If you want to put a whole 20-minute scene that's sort of like a homage to a specific film, do it. Do it. I'd love to like see Tarantino curate like the Alamo Draft House, which I think he actually owns, doesn't he? The Alamo Draft House. I'd love to go there. I'd love to go there when Tarantino's doing like he's curated a little film festival. He's a little bit annoying on a personal level, but I think he's a very talented man. Once Upon a Time in America, that was a really good film. I love a good Western. I do like a good Western, but it's one of those genres where when it's really bad, it's really bad. I've seen a lot of really boring, uninspired Westerns, but when they get it right, I mean, I'm in the middle of watching, I'm pointing up to the DVDs and Blu-rays, by the way. I'm in the middle of watching the Sartana box set from Arrow, and they're some of the best spaghetti westerns I've seen. It's like little bits of James Bond in there, with like gadgetry and stuff. I mean, Sergio Corbucci's not Sergio Corbucci, Sergio Leone. Yeah, like The Good, the Bad, I love The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. That's just a fucking amazing film. Didn't mean to swear, sorry. All the ones I've watched him, I have thoroughly liked, though. Yeah, he makes, for a Hollywood director, he makes really interesting films. And that's hard to come by now with Hollywood directors. What did I watch recently? Children of Men, by Cuarón. Can't remember his first. Alfonso Cuarón. To me, probably the most interesting Hollywood director at the moment, because it's not just it hit a paycheck. I was like, we had a budget of 20 million and we're going to adopt this, new technology. Like James Cameron's become one of the most boring fucking directors, even though he's produced fantastic films in his earlier filmography. Like Ridley Scott. What the fuck's happened to Ridley Scott? Ridley Scott, I mean, Blade Runner, a sci-fi masterpiece. And it's just boring, uninteresting films. But because they're so palatable for a modern audience, it's just like, yeah, we can just do this. Like, what's his face? And on the opposite side of things, someone who was like that, the guy who directed 40-Year-Old Virgin. Did he do Step Brothers as well? And then he did that Wall Street film and got into serious filmmaking. So it's weird, isn't it, how directors can change. But yeah, exactly. It's just, I think I've found you'll get much better films and it'll really show you the quality of the director when there's constraints, when they don't have the budget, when they have production problems, or do you know what I mean? Because they've got to adapt, they've got to really think, they've got to be. I think that's why I love Italian, specifically Italian filmmaking, because it's well, we don't have a permit to shoot in this street. We've got a car chase that we need to film. It's not being okayed by the authorities. And if they see us driving around with a camera, then they're going to arrest us. Well, why don't we just drive really fast down this street where there's people and there's cars, the general public? We'll just hide the camera and we'll film it. Fuck it. Let's do it. Whereas now you've got to wait for permission from local councils. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg to shut off a street for a day. There's too much dependence on green screen and special effects. It's just, there's so many soulless, boring films nowadays. From directors who 10, 20, 30 years ago were producing some of the most cutting edge, interesting, well executed films you could ever think of. And it does my fucking head in. I mean, one of the few exceptions to that rule is what's his face, who did Tenet and The Dark Knight. I forgot his name. That's really bad of me. I mean, Tenet, probably the most interesting blockbuster film that I've seen in the past 5 years, just because it's still interesting. It's not David Fincher. I know it's not David Fincher. Paul Thomas Anderson still makes really interesting films. What's his name? He did Memento. I can't remember his name. But that's a man who can get pretty much the budget he needs. Christopher Nolan. But at the same time, will make really interesting films with some really interesting themes. But then you just get some really fucking boring directors. I mean, the one director I'm really interested in at the moment is the one who did the Blade Runner sequel, which I've not seen, and I've not seen much of his work, but I love the fact that we've got a director like that. And what's his face who did Parasite? Watched a couple. He's got a box set out now, hasn't he? But yeah, Alfonso Cuarón. Is that his name? I can't remember. But Revenant was an interesting film. And Roma, I've heard's really good. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I love spaghetti westerns. Yeah, The Great Silence is probably my favourite spaghetti western. I really liked 1917, but a lot of people hated it. That's Christopher Nolan as well, isn't it? Or was that Dunkirk I'm thinking of? But a good friend of mine really recommends 1917, so I'll have to give it a try. Paul says, absolutely. I always love the fuck it film fuck it film it mentality. Exactly. Don't wait for permits. Your actor's late. Oh no, it's raining. Adapt. Do something different. Deviate from the original idea, because a lot of the time you're going to get better results because you're not fixated on, which at the same time, if you're fixated on getting that perfect shot and you can pull it off, I can't imagine there's anything more satisfying. But at the same time, it's like, well, this isn't really what we wanted to film, but it's worked out a whole lot better. Whereas now it's just like, I don't know. I just hate the idea of most films that people are just sat in front of a green screen. It's like, that's why. And I mean no disrespect at all. I'll never disrespect anyone for what they choose to listen to, what they choose to watch, what they choose to drink, or anything like that. What they choose to read, which artists they like. People like what they like. But it's like with all these Marvel films, all these DC films, and even like the recent Star Wars films, a lot of time you could just meld it all together. And it's almost like mainstream Godfrey Ho. They just all look like the same fucking film. And it annoys the tits out of me. That's why I can't stand like the Marvel universe. Because you could take segment out of whatever, Spider-Man, take a segment out of Iron Man, take a segment out of the Avengers, take a segment out of Wonder Woman, and you could essentially do what a lot of infinitely more interesting directors in the 70s who were just cutting corners to make a paycheck. You could take other people's films and just make it into one. You could essentially do that with every DC film, with every Marvel film, with all the recent Star Wars films. I don't care who you are, the Star Wars films now have nowhere near as much charm or character or heart or soul as the original three films, and even the prequel trilogy. Plus, you're giving Adam Driver work. Fuck Adam Driver, because I don't like him. And that's not just because he annoyed the shit out of me in the TV series Girls. Although I am quite interested in that film he did with Scarlett Johansson. Is it called A Wedding Story or something like that? But if you like those films, that's fair enough. I think the last good superhero film that I watched was probably The Watchmen, and I really enjoyed the graphic novel as well. I think, was it Zack Snyder who did The Watchmen? I think he did a really good job of adapting the original graphic novel comic book series. But yeah, I found that really. In fact, I don't mind Zack Snyder as a director. Paul's gonna absolutely hate me for this, but I don't hate the Dawn of the Dead remake. I think it's not a bad film. But yeah, anyway. Earlier, a crackhead in my town let someone pull her tooth out for a tenner. Nice. Fucking hell, I can make a few quid here. Jesus. Yeah, films are just going downhill badly now. Chinese cinema has that great feel too at times. Yeah, definitely. Some of the most visually stunning and intricate films. I think that's why I'm more drawn to international cinema, just because they have a different sort of mindset. They have a different way of making things. I just like it when directors actually have interesting ideas and can pull off what should technically be like almost impossible feats. Like I said, budget constraints, time constraints, that sort of stuff. It's just like video games and music. Everything's becoming worse and worse every year. I would completely agree. After watching E3, I'm like, where the fuck is gaming going now? You know, we've got the best hardware we've ever had, but there's just all this shitty, like, funnelware, like, really, like, not to, like, throw shade on indie game developers, because there have been some fantastic games. But it's like, you've got these, like, studios who've got millions, billions of dollars, pounds behind them. And then they're putting out stuff like, I wouldn't even fucking download that on my phone. I mean, the whole gaming thing's cursed with like pay to win, loot crates, that sort of stuff. I mean, FIFA is now just, if you play Ultimate Team, you would literally have to play thousands and thousands and thousands of hours just to get a semi-decent Ultimate Team without paying obscene amounts. Like, it's like some games where it's like £20 just to change the colour of your gun. It's like you only see a portion of it from your first person view. Although that being said, I still really want to pick up Resident Evil 8. I know it's not as good as people were hoping it to be, but yeah, Resident Evil Village. That's got a good aesthetic to it, that game. It's just like, yeah, we've done that comment. Judd Apatow, 40, Your Virgin, knocked up Anchorman and Superbad, but went on to make some absolute drivel. I think I'm thinking of the wrong person. What's his name? Adam something. He's worked with Will Ferrell and like Steve Carell a lot. Oh my god, what's his name? But yeah, the fuck Judd Apatow, by the way. He's just an arsehole, that man. Opinionated, doesn't let anyone have their say, and just insults everyone, and he's not funny. He's not a good comedian. Christopher Nolan. Yeah, there we go. Films haven't been good in 2 decades, basically, or longer. For the most part, I would agree. I would be hard-pressed to give you 50 great films, in my personal opinion, from the 2000s, especially when it comes to like British or American produced. Simo Subs beer reviews. Nolan D. And then Nolan. Good evening, Simo, by the way. A fantastic Richard Madden is a brilliant actor. Oh, need a tripod. Let's see. Dunkirk's director was Nolan. Yeah. Who directed 1917 then? Have the Great Silence UK DVD. Great spaghetti western shot in a snowy mountaineer vibe. Definitely. And I like the original ending to that film. That's a bleak but beautiful film. And probably one of my favourite ever Ennio Morricone scores. Wonderful film. I've not watched that for years, so I'll have to revisit that. Let's see. Agreed, mate. I really like 1917. Most films today. Sterile. Yes. Sterile's such a perfect word to sum it up. I cannot stand Marvel. Absolutely shocking. I think the only real Marvel cinematic property or adaptation that I really like is The Punisher. Just because he's just a man who has his own story and he's not dependent on superpowers. And I think there's a lot of people who can not necessarily relate to his whole situation, but I hold no emotional connection to Peter Parker. Do you know what I mean? I hold no emotional connection to Captain America. Tony Stark, just another bland billionaire. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, The Punisher, he's been through shit. Plus, the Dolph Lundgren film is fucking awesome. And also, the more modern films have been really good. Still yet to actually watch the TV series, though. But I like the guy who does it from The Walking Dead. I only really like Dark Knight Trilogy by DC. See, yeah, I'm taking a step back. But then again, it's because Christopher Nolan actually adds depth. Mind you, that being said, I think the Batman films have always been entertaining. Like, on a fundamental level, just because I think casting-wise, they've picked really good actors to portray Bruce Wayne. I mean, my favourite, just because I think he's an amazing actor in general, is probably Michael Keaton. Just because I like Michael Keaton. And is that a meme or is that true that I know Robert Pattinson is the next Batman, but I'm sure there's a meme going around that Michael Keaton is going to be back as Batman. Could you imagine that? That'd be good, that. One of my favourite Michael Keaton films. Can't remember what the film's called, but it's the film where him and a few other people from, like, is mental asylum the politically correct term? Mental hospital? I don't know. What would you call it? Where they, like, go out on a day trip. You could never make that film nowadays because you'd have all these sort of, like, charitable special interest groups saying, this is reprehensible. It's making a mockery of... No, it's not. It's just a fun film. Don't read too much into it. Like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You couldn't adapt that book into a film nowadays. Anyway, superhero films are crap. Go come on your comics. Make those pages stick together, bitch. That's why I love video games. It's like an interactive movie over the space of 20 hours, especially David Cage's stuff. He's a nutter, but writes phenomenal stories. He's the one who did Heavy Rain, isn't he? And what's that more recent one with the androids? Not played it, but I've watched like let's plays of it, and I found that really intriguing. But yeah, Heavy Rain was a great game. Especially if you purposely play that game badly, it is fucking hysterical. Just like that the especially that scene, the whole sequence where you're playing as the policeman and you're chasing that criminal down the street, and like if you keep missing like the button prompts, he's like tripping over like fruit stalls, like sliding off counters in supermarkets and stuff. Like getting hit by car doors opening and things like that. And then, of course, there was the whole Jason. Oh my god. Unintentionally funny, but legitimately harrowing, and immersive. Yes, fuck Driver. The Dead Don't Die is utter monotoned garbage. I just don't think he's that good of an actor, to be honest. The Watchmen was okay. It was just interesting because it wasn't just like the usual, I'm a hero, I'm going to save the day. No, it was like, it was complicated. They were flawed people in their own way. There was a lot of like strife and personal things. I mean, what's his face who plays? I'm terrible with names when I'm doing these streams. But the actor that plays Negan, his character in there, is that Rorschach? Was it Rorschach? No, he didn't play as Rorschach. But I liked him in that film. Plus, massive blue penis. The series of Watchmen's. I've not watched that yet. I've heard really good things. It's one of those ones that it makes you think, apparently. But at the same time, a lot of people said it does delve into that sort of preachy social justice side of things. But I'll still give it a go. How it wasn't mentioned is a crime. Indeed. Yep, and the crackheads, mate, drank a whole bottle of chili sauce and a bottle of vinegar for 20 quid. Fucking hell. It's easy money. Easy money here to be made. Why is no one asking me to do that sort of stuff? Your town sounds bonkers. It certainly does. This year was shocking. E3 this year. Yeah. I was watching the Xbox. It was like, it's like, oh, Microsoft now own Bethesda. I see no development, aside from the fact that a lot of their library are now on Game Pass, which is good. Because if you've never like played Morrowind, which I'm not a big fan of, I tried playing Morrowind. I know it's like deemed as like a classic entry into the Elder Scrolls, fucking hell, Peter, Elder Scrolls series. But I just couldn't. I'm so used to like Oblivion and Skyrim that obviously it's a little bit more basic. But I'm sure there's a wonderful game in there. But yeah, it's just the only thing I've not seen yet from E3 is Nintendo's presentation, and a lot of the time I find that they come out the best. But yeah, there's really nothing right now that's enticing me to get either a new Xbox, or a PS5. The only game that was kind of tempting me was Resident Evil 8, but yeah, I don't know. I've been enjoying because it was on Xbox Gold for a little while, and it's still on my Xbox, but the remake of Resident Evil 1. I thought that was a one. It still looks good, even now. But yeah, it's just some of the games coming out. I'm like, why would anyone be interested in this? I just don't like the direction that gaming's going in. Let's see. Half it's shit, all the other half where I live is the good part. Is that the area that's fenced off with turrets? Must admit, Elden Ring piqued my interest. Is that the Final Fantasy game? I could never get into Final Fantasy. On a side note, just could never get into those games. And a new game for the guys who made Man of Median. See, I only watched it because I was watching. Who was I watching? I think it was. I can't remember. I was watching someone's stream of like their reaction to it. I can't remember. It was just really boring. It's like Capcom's presentation was really lackluster as well. It's just gaming. It's just not as. I'm playing older games. I think the most recent game that I'm playing, just because it was on Xbox Game Pass, is that more recent Yakuza game. And that's just an interest. It's just a fun, crude sort of game. I've never really been into the style of the Yakuza series, but I'm really interested in Yakuza in general, especially like the tattoos that they have. I'd love like a Yakuza style tattoo on the back, because that's what someone like me would get, is a Yakuza tattoo. Although I do really want to get sleeve tattoos. Yeah, all play to win. That's all it is. It's really disgusting. And the fact that people pay, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Oh wow, your M16 will be blue with gold detailing. Well, that's my life infinitely better. It just doesn't make sense to me. Blizzard cunts for that too. Pretty much all those games have loot crates. Yeah, it's going to be one of the demises of gaming. It's like the whole mobile gaming thing seems to have infected like console and PC gaming. Well, I would say probably that's a bit dramatic, but it's like even like Call of Duty Warzone. I thought that was really interesting, but like you just see the amount of things that you actually have to purchase. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Really ridiculous. I went on a rant, but ran out of space, but you didn't say it's better than the original for some in that piece of shit have, so it's okay. Oh, thank you, Paul. I am glad that I've been forgiven on that one. Resident Evil 8 is fucking amazing. Yeah, I've been watching what are they called? Let's Talk Resident Evil. Probably one of my favourite channels on YouTube, because they were doing the whole build up to Resident Evil 8. So they were going through each Resident Evil game, and it was just bringing back so many memories for me. And I know a lot of people don't like Ethan's character. But from what I've seen, I mean, I know the story now. Everything's spoilt for me, but I still want to play the game. So it just looks really nice. I like the aesthetic of it. I know it's not zombies, but see, I really enjoyed Resident Evil 7. I thought that was a really good, just genuine, fun horror game. I mean, my favourite Resident Evil is Resident Evil 3. I've not played the remakes of 2 and 3 yet. I know a lot of people weren't a fan of the remake of Resident Evil 3 because it does look like a lot of content was either cut or just completely missed. So you're getting like a shell of what the Resident Evil 3 experience should be. But I kind of like the fact the way it starts when Nemesis is like there straight away. I know it sort of takes away the whole like threat of Nemesis, where in the original game, once you'd first seen him at the police station, you were fucking terrified of any sort of room where he would just appear. And when you first play Resident Evil 3, even like 2 or 3 times in a row, he shows up in different places. Obviously, different things trigger where he would show up and stuff, but still, it doesn't look like it has the same like level of tension as the original Resident Evil 3, but it still looks like an interesting game to play. But to me, it's just a little bit expensive. I'm kicking myself because Capcom did a really good sale on the Resident Evil games about 3 or 4 months before Village came out. Like, really good discounts, and I don't know why I didn't pick up or download the Resident Evil 2 and 3 sort of box set that they did on Microsoft Store. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to actually getting around to playing Resident Evil 8. I like the way the story's panned out in that. Plus, the gunplay in the game looks really good as well. Got a few comments to catch up. Oh yeah, another crackhead also ate Hostility 2. Should get them to try Spice and Crazy Reaper curry. Spice and easy. Fucking hell, I can't read today. I do apologise. Sam Mendes directed. Sam Mendes. There we go. God, how far behind am I? Do apologise. Yeah, Captain America and Iron Man, all horrific characters. Oh, but it's so sad when Thanos. Anyway. If I had superpowers, I'd be the best hero villain of all time. At the same time, you'd be like the anti-hero pure villain, but nice. So you'd hurt people, but those people would deserve it, and you'd give back to the poor. That's what you would do, Paul. And then you just fuck all of them in multiple ways in every hole. Can't believe this stream has stretched out loads, considering it was just a review of 2 beers. But that's the clues drink away. Multiplicity is one of my favourite Keaton films. Is that the film I was thinking of, where he like takes like a few people from a insane asylum out because they go to a ball game, don't they? Is what's his face? Peter, the granddad from Everybody Loves Raymond, and he was in Hardcore and Taxi Driver. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about. I'm sure he was in that film. Mike Keaton's coming back as Bruce Wayne. They're trying it with the Flashpoint storyline. Okay. So is that going to be a completely different film to the one that Robert Pattinson's playing in? People are weak-minded over emotional, easily offended, bleeding heart fuck toys today. Could not agree more. Woke, says Goldrake. That's the one thing you'll get. It doesn't matter if what you say I very much disagree with. I very much respect someone who says what they think. Although if you say something that's really fucking disgusting, then I've got a problem. But It'll take a lot more to offend me on the Clueless Drinker channel. It's a safe space for free speech, which is a sort of like an oxymoron, I suppose. Yeah, he did Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human. There we go. So it's got what's his face from Grey's Anatomy in it. Beyond Two Souls wasn't great. Oh, what game's that? I've forgotten. It rings a bell. Woke mobs will take everything from us. That's very true. And that's a point that I've always said. You can have the most agreeable and needed and necessary social cause ever, but you will get so many people hijacking that good cause and then turn it into something that it wasn't supposed to be. And then next thing you know, people are having their whole sort of like social media platforms taken away from them just because they don't agree with the full narrative. And it's like, is this really the world that we want to live in? Isn't it better to have, like, genuinely, isn't it better to have the most racist, bigoted, disagreeable, abhorrent people? Is it not better to have those people spewing their vile in public than being hushed away behind closed doors where hatred rarely breeds? Is it not better to have these people and their viewpoints out in the open so we can just completely destroy their argument? I mean, yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to hear some really awful things. But surely it's better for that to be out in the public, for us all to scrutinise. I don't know. Call me mad. I don't know. Woke word. It is a funny word. My shit phone. Yeah, got a wall size of a dam separating good and the shit part down. Is it sort of like was it Land of the Dead? With Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper in a George Romero film. Fancy that. Elden Ring is the Souls game whose stories are. Oh shit, yes. I've yet to play any of the Souls games. They just the whole lore of them, and like the look of them and the world building just always interests me. Demon Souls, Dark Souls. But yeah, that sounds good, especially when you've got a very talented writer like him involved. Yakuza, yeah, they are. That new one, I can't remember what it's called. Is it called Like a Dragon? I'll tell you what, some of the dialogue in that game, I'm like, fucking hell, I'm surprised this got past the UK censors. Love that they are rarely separate, totally separate games. There's odd hint from the previous ones in there, but they're completely separate stories. Yeah, there's like I think you're still talking about the Yakuza games. You can get pretty much every Yakuza game on Xbox Game Pass at the moment. Only CODs I really enjoyed were the first two. Oh, is that like old school Call of Duty? Before Kevin Rapey Spacey ruined it all. How creepy does Kevin Spacey look in what's that? Is it Advanced Warfare? How creepy does he look in that game? We should have known. Let's see. Oh, we've got a little bit of back and forth between James and Simo. But I shall not get involved in that. But that's obviously something between two individuals, and it shall remain between two individuals. See, there's no side taking when it comes to my chat. Whatever you type, you're gonna type, and I'm not going to be someone who will kick off or anything like that. Let's see. Raggy is reviewing in the bathroom, very sexy. I want to see him review whilst in the bath. I got to head off now, guys. Good chatting with you. All talk soon. Goldrake, you've probably long gone. I do apologise about that. I'm so behind on the comments. I'm going to have to call the stream once I've caught up because it's gone on for quite a while, hasn't it? But I've not really been streaming that much, so I don't think I'm at my limit yet with StreamYard, which I still need to actually pay and stop being a cheapskate. We will do that. I picked up Village on the PC and really enjoyed it. It was a mishmash of horror and shooter, but it's a great game. Yeah, I liked it. From what I've seen, I mean, I've seen a couple of playthroughs now. It's sort of like equal parts horror, but cheesy. It's self-aware as well, because I know Heisenberg makes that whole boulder punching joke about Chris Redfield, which I've seen a lot of fans of the series take a lot of issues with that. But it's fun. It's a cheesy game. I mean, the Heisenberg fight, you're on a fucking like makeshift tank with a chainsaw. What do you expect? But I'd be interested to see what the next main Resident Evil game will be like. Like which character? Because I think it's going to be Ethan's daughter who will probably be the protagonist. But yeah, I'd like to see some of the old school characters come back in a main game, not just like a remake or a spin-off. But then again, I still need to play Resident Evil 6 as well. I just like the Resident Evil games. I think they're really entertaining games. It's tied down with the Robert Pattinson thing, apparently. Okay. So they're two separate sort of projects, but they connect. See, I like the sound of that. It's a separate standalone movie. Okay. Yeah, take care, Goldrake, even though you're not going to hear it. Oh, the comments are there. I'd rather know the bastards are there than have them hidden in a safe fashion. Exactly. Because people like that shouldn't have a safe space. You should be, if you've got those views, you better be fucking prepared to defend them. Or try to defend them. I'm just waiting for you to catch up the comments before I leave. Well, I hope you have, because I can see you've commented. Oh, my God, coming. Oh, okay. Resting on a slippy MacBook, I do apologise. Gee, oops. A rattlesnake without a rattle can... Exactly. And I'd much rather fucking hear the rattle beforehand. You might be waiting a while, buddy. Yeah, definitely. I'm doing a really bad job of catching up. Yeah, Peter, I agree with you. A lot of political views, mate. Well, that's it. And it's like, if you were to agree or disagree, the fact that we can actually talk without one person go, well, fuck you, I'm leaving. Because that's not going to solve anything if you just act like that. So, yeah, I'm glad that I'm actually surrounded by people who, even if they completely disagree with my sort of like view on the world or view on a specific socio-political situation, I like the fact that they can look past that after we've had a discussion and then we can still talk about stuff. But now it's all about, you've said this and you shouldn't have a platform anymore. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like with all university stuff. Like lecturers saying, oh, if they don't pull down this statue, we're not going to work. It's like, motherfucker, do you know what you're... Well, pretty much every university fundamentally is based on. It's a place for ideas, for thinkers, no matter how asinine, dangerous, rational, irrational, it doesn't matter. These are places that you're supposed to learn, but you're also supposed to debate. And it's like, just shut the fuck up. Do your jobs. You can still have your little special interest groups. You can still, in the corner over there, talk about stuff. But it's like, oh, come on. Anyway, yay, free speech. Exactly. I pay for StreamYard Premium, but it's like £80 a month, which is expensive for just pissed up streams with your pals. So revert to the free version. Yeah, I think a couple of people I know managed to get like a Black Friday deal where they got like a year's worth for a ridiculous amount. So I think every now and then they do come up with special offers. All right, yep, too troopy. And see, I've caught up now, Goldrake. So good evening. Good evening. That's how you introduce someone. I hope you have a nice evening, mate. I'm going to be heading off now anyway because it's getting a bit late. And I don't have any beers in the fridge. So, and I don't really want to drink warm, shitty Brewdog beers. So, yeah, thank you all for stopping by for the initially what was the Overtone double feature of Sabro laced beers, the Sabromance, and of course Sabrosa. This to me is just Sabro perfection. Beautiful stuff. Both beers are highly, highly recommended. But if you want an indulgent hop soup, Sabro coconut laced beergasm, then this is probably the best Sabro beer that I've had to date. And there's still a little bit in the can. Warm, pissy dregs. Take it easy. Catch you tomorrow. See you there. It's been good chatting. Gonna finish the beer, then call it a night. Catch you next time. Yeah. Glad you stopped by, Simo. And do you know what? I need to do like a stream about computer video games because I've started to really get back into them recently. So it'd be interesting to talk more. And of course, we've got the film stuff. So thank you everyone for. Oh, and then Stuart just right at the end just says good night. I bet you've been lurking in the background, haven't you, Stuart? Hope you're doing well, Stuart. It's been a while since we spoke. I think the last time we spoke, we were both on Jimmy O's channel, if I remember correctly. Anyway, hope you've been doing well, Stuart. Hope everyone's been doing well. Thank you, everyone, for joining me throughout the evening. And to those who watch this on the playback. If you've made it this far, then why didn't you stop after the beers have been reviewed? I don't know. Just woke up. Oh, sure, it's just woke up. Well, I've got a feeling you'll be wide awake for the rest of the evening. So I hope your sleeping pattern isn't too fucked after that. But yeah, thank you to everyone who stopped by. It's been an interesting night, especially for an impromptu one. I'm not too sure if Craig or Rob have gone live. I don't know. So you might see me on someone else's channel, although I can't really drink too much because I've got work tomorrow, but I'm working from home, so who gives a flying fuck? Customers don't need to know I'm shitting. Like I'm shitting like a waste pipe. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, but yeah, moral of the story is Overtone, these two beers, Sabromance, Sabrosa, fucking awesome. And yeah, look out for a couple more Overtone videos on the channel. And of course, I'm going to be doing a collab review with my legendary gaping beer brother Harry, who once lived in a bustling city, but then swapped it all for a quiet life in the countryside, brewing beer. And what more could you want? Anyway, thanks for watching. You all take care. Stay safe. Have a lovely weekend. And I shall see you all when I see you all. Night, folks. Have a good one. You take care.